and mountain slide. Those are just a few of the activities your family will love. Plus, great food and, of course, Mayfield ice cream. Save money by ordering your tickets online at MayfieldFarmPark.com. Mayfield Farm Park in Athens, everyone's favorite fall family tradition.
Hey, Andy Morris here. Join me along with my co-host on The Drive, presented by Hardees, weekdays at 5 p.m. on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. Cleveland and Bradley County's local sports show, weekdays at 5 on ESPN Cleveland 101.3.
From the Kia of Cleveland Studios, this is ESPN Cleveland 101.3, WCLE HD2 Cleveland, W267BI Cleveland, ESPN Cleveland 101.3.
The top of the hour is presented by Best Buy Metals, making the top of your house the best it can be. Visit bestbuymetalroofing.com.
It's time for The Drive on ESPN Cleveland 101.3, presented by Hardees. We will bring you nonstop sports news from the national and local scene and everything in between. So buckle up and join in on the conversation. It's The Drive.
Don't take no style. Got a thirst for killing. Drink your body. Woo!
Welcome back to The Drive here on ESPN Cleveland. Andy Morris here with Jim Gum, and look who decided to show up. Jacob Slim Money Mason is in the building.
I'm not going to stand for how I got treated on the show yesterday. I had COVID. I had to be at home. I'm back. I'm here
with a vengeance.
And you're wild.
I am.
You're wild.
Everyone knows that. Everyone that listens to this show knows that.
If you do not think that at least like potentially was a fight, like it
Whoa, time out. So apparently we're jumping into Georgia-Auburn.
Talking about the fumble, the infamous fumble between at the goal line. Looked like Auburn was going in for a touchdown.
17-0 halftime score. That's what it was going to be.
Math still maths, 20 to 17. They had 15 yards in the second half before they went prevent.
Completely changed the dynamic of the game.
The crumble after the fumble. That's the difference.
You're right. You are right.
That's a difference between a good ball team and a team that lets one play define them.
Well, I'll give you that. I'll say that because Hugh Freeze, even at the end of the game, was still fuming over stuff that happened in the first half. Well, there's no doubt about it. He
went and called the SEC offices all weekend and plays this poor, pitiful us. How about you just go win a ball game? Your offense has been dominant the whole first half.
I'm not justifying all the miscues by Auburn, but what I was saying,
the moment that fist comes in, which was before he left his feet, you can have two hands on that ball. That doesn't mean you possess the football. Just because you have hands on it does not mean that you are in control.
They define it by movement of the football.
Right. It moves immediately. Josh Pate agrees. All of these national analysts agree, but whiny Auburn fans who are going to let...
Can I tell you something? I was pulling for the Bulldogs in that game. Usually pull for Georgia. Listen, right here, they're home, ESPN Cleveland 101.3, home of Georgia Bulldog football right here in our town, in our area. Tennessee Volunteers over on Mix. I pull for those two teams. But when I was watching that frame by frame and they pause it, he's got both his hands on the football. It's against his chest.
No, it is not.
I'm going to pull it up right now.
Okay, you can pull it. You can pull it up if you want to.
Jacob's telling me my eyes are lying.
Here's the thing: we all know this much. The call that was made on the field was not going to be overturned.
Exactly.
Absolutely. When they let that play, now I'm going to tell you this.
And that's
we said this yesterday. The guy that scooped it up for Georgia should have got a 98-yard touchdown.
It should have been. It should have been a touchdown for Georgia.
Right then and there.
So let's dissect this whole scenario because I agree exactly with what Jim just said. They were not going to reverse the call on the field because it was indisputable evidence. With that being said, I feel like any line judge in their right mind calls that a touchdown.
You're saying that it's indisputable. Like you're saying, you think because of the grainy,
it's so close, frame by frame,
the grainy image from the pylon
where it was blown up,
where you say that's
it has to be blatantly obvious
to overturn it,
but it's not.
And you're right. But that's what
because
this is
the ball
where.
starts moving immediately.
I said this to some people today. We used to see Nick Saban get some calls like that, and I think Kirby Smart has earned his ranking and right in the coaching world. Where, hey, benefit of the doubt. we're not going to go against Kirby here.
If you want to be mad about the clapping thing, I'm not even talking.
I'm not even talking. We'll get to that. But as far as
to see his face light up when I did that.
Jim's over here doing the
I'm just sitting here laughing at the old married couple going at it right now.
But my point is, if that's Billy Napier's Florida Gators on the defensive side of the ball, if that's who it is, that on the field, that play's called a touchdown for Auburn. I'm just saying. And then they go to the replay booth, say indisputable evidence, touchdown Auburn. That's my stance on it.
Well, they tend to call fumbles, and they want to prove that they're not. It just across the board. Like that's why they let play. That's why they normally let plays like that play out, and that ball that was
because they know
returned
replay can
determine whether it was or not. So normally those are called fumbles until they're proven otherwise.
Yeah, and for anyone that doesn't know, that the tip of that football, if it touches the edge of the goal line, that's considered
while he possesses.
While in possession, and that's the problem. How close it was frame by frame. You could honestly justify touchdown or fumble either way.
I agree that you probably could. I personally, though, the moment his hand, there's two linebackers that both touched the football in this play. The moment that Wilson's hand comes across the line, before he has jumped and left his feet, he is hitting his arm and he's knocked the ball loose. That ball is no longer possessed by him.
What down was that?
It was a 3rd and goal play.
Was it? I couldn't remember if it was 2nd or 3rd. We get these guys, and we see it all the time, the guys that extend the ball over the goal line. That's not 4th down. I get extending the ball on 4th down because it's do or die. It's not do or die unless it's 4th down, and that was not a 4th down. Like I said, I couldn't remember if it was 2nd or 3rd. But I see this all the time where guys are extending the ball on 1st down or 2nd down, and they get the ball stripped, and I'm like, what are you doing?
You know what's crazier about that is there was a timeout before that play, and Kirby Smart pulled both of those linebackers in and said he is going to try to jump over the line. You've got to punch it out. You've got to.
Sure, I mean they're taught that. They're coached to do that.
And then they went out there and did it.
Yeah, they're coached.
So
that's great coaching.
I can understand from an average, and I'll be honest, I was not a fan of how the broadcasting team handled themselves all night long. I think they inspired hate, and they wanted to make bigger deals out of things than what they should have been.
I'm looking at it right now. It's so close. It really is so close.
Are you watching the video of it?
I've got it paused just before his hand gets in there, and it's so super close. You can justify either way.
I personally, taking the Georgia hat off, I thought it was a fumble. Because of how that hand violently comes in there, it jars his other arm loose. The moment that ball starts moving, he no longer has possession of it. You don't have complete possession of it. If the ball is moving, it's not controlled, you don't have possession of it. So if they called a fumble on the field, it's got to stick as a fumble. The problem is it should have been a 98-yard touchdown.
Yeah, exactly.
As well.
When I was watching that play, and the first time I saw the replay, I thought to myself, well, they're not going to overturn this. I mean, they're just not. It's just too close. It has to be indisputable video evidence to overturn a call, and that obviously was not the case. So once they called the fumble live in the game, it was going to stand.
Now let's move on to the clapping. Let's turn the page from the fumble, and because we can agree that it could have been called either way. The call on the field was fumble. They've got to stick with fumble. I personally think that it was a fumble even without that's just my stance on it. The clapping,
which again wasn't a pivotal. People are putting a lot of emphasis on it in a joking way.
About the clapping. The game was in Georgia's hand.
Georgia's winning the game at that point. He finishes with 2 timeouts in his pocket. Oh, okay, call the timeout. It is what it is. I genuinely think he just wanted that stoppage there because he was calling out. I think it was a combination of both.
Yeah.
I think he was wanting to call timeout to draw the attention to it because he knew he had those timeouts to burn.
Yeah.
And then by the time he kind of transitioned in the moment from timeout to once that whistle blew, he's telling them, hey, they're clapping, and it was the Auburn safety or linebacker that was coming up doing
that. That is a penalty if the defense is doing that. So.
And Kirby told the refs before the game, I have somebody in the booth watching them every play. They do this. They try to get you. I've lost games in this building because of it. I'm going to let you know. So I agree. I think it was a combination. The problem is if the refs have awarded the timeout, if they gave him the timeout, they need to stick with their guns. It's the same scenario that happened at Texas last year where you go back and you switch up a call and you give pass interference to Texas and it was controlled by fans. You kind of let Kirby Smart's opinion change your mind as a ref. That shouldn't happen. That's on the officiating crew. That's not on Kirby Smart. So people coming after his integrity, saying he's a cheater, all these other things.
Of course, let's be honest.
Coming
It
from
is
Auburn fans.
It's not just Auburn fans. It's Tennessee fans. It's Florida fans. Listen. This is a rivalry. We don't like you, so we're going to throw shade at you any way we can.
And I said that
Auburn fans going after Kirby Smart's integrity as their head coach, who has
Lost a job,
used a school phone and a credit card to. We're not going to talk about it on the radio show. You can go do your own research, and then paid players under the table. Like, come on! Don't come at the face of
why are we
college
not talking
football.
about it on air? Why are we not talking about it?
let's be honest.
He hired lady friends. Let's just
they
say
spent
that
some money at the club
with a school phone and a school credit
Spend some
card.
money at the club.
And you're going to come at my coach about integrity?
It's called quality recruiting. Quality recruiting.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Auburn, all of this stuff has been building up because we saw the debacle versus Oklahoma. I mean, every call went against Auburn. It seems like every time you watch a game, Auburn gets the. When it's a close call, it seems like it always goes against
There's no doubt.
Auburn.
It's because
they are a team that they can't get any
No
breaks
doubt
this
about
year.
it.
they are the number 7 most penalized team in America. They are an undisciplined football team.
So they
are a
culminate
mentally-
that a little bit
on
themselves.
everything.
They're
everything
a
else.
mentally weak football team. Like at the end of the honestly, how do you go from dominating a first half to letting one play define you and then go out and get 15 meaningful yards before we drop into prevent defense and then want to come on and complain about that swung the game?
All right.
You had the whole second half to prove that you were the better football team, and you went.
They broke.
You rolled over.
If you're the Auburn athletic director, president, whatever, do you consider firing him?
No,
we all know.
no.
We all know about Florida. We all know about Billy
Yeah.
Napier.
I think he's on the hot
I think
seat.
Hugh Freeze is on the hot seat.
I'll tell you why. He kicked off a team captain yesterday.
I did see that.
and all of his players are up
turning on him.
or up in arms about it. He said that he didn't meet team whatever, and all these players are coming on the back say that's not true. He's the best teammate. We voted him a captain for a reason.
Now, I'll say this in defense of Hugh Freeze and not knowing the details of the situation. Sometimes there's stuff you don't want getting out of your program, and a guy can be loved by every single one of his teammates and still be kicked off that team, and they still love him. But sometimes those things can be earned, and the head coach makes a decision and says, I'm not going to make this kid look bad. I'm going to bite the bullet, and this is going to be the reason that he's kicked off the team.
Normally, players don't come out and say that that's not true from what a head coach is saying. Players are coming to this guy's defense and saying, no, none of that is true. Like, this dude is a good teammate. He was doing what he was supposed to. He has good grades.
Yeah.
Teammates, when they get kicked off, they'll be like, hey, man, love you. You're a great dude. Go ball. Go be your best self, whatever.
Well, a guy that you think highly enough to name a team captain, why are you kicking him off your team then?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
You're not going to try to hurt yourself.
And then when the AD was asked about whether he thought, he firing Hugh Freeze was in the card, he goes, well, I expect my car to start every time. And, if it doesn't start multiple times, then we've got an issue. Like, that's just leaving a door open saying, yeah, there's a good possibility that we fire him.
Think about this, guys. Let's say, I'm not going to say worst case. This scenario, we already know Penn State job's open. Okay? Can you imagine if Auburn's job's open, Florida's job's open, maybe Florida State?
I'm about to throw another one your way.
There could be so many. Listen, and the coaches who do have their jobs, everyone's getting a raise. Everyone's going to be trying to court
Can I
these
close
guys.
the door on the Georgia chapter real quick?
Go ahead.
Georgia won that game because they have a mental fortitude about themselves. The problem is if Georgia wants to be a championship team, they can't wait until the second half to be a good team. Good teams are able to have a few games in a season like that. You can't wait till the second half versus Tennessee. You can't wait till the second half versus Auburn. You can't wait till the second half versus Alabama. Like, you're going to lose games.
Once again, Georgia beat Auburn 20-10 down there at Auburn.
If Georgia wants to make a run and be a competitive national championship contender, they've got to come out from the gate. They can't continue to do this. We're going to take the first half off and then be elite in the second half.
I agree. I do agree with that. And that's something that
my-
we've kind of consistently seen from Georgia, specifically this season. they're slow starters. It takes them going in and adjusting. But, Jim, let's get back to what you were saying for a
About
second.
the openings, the job openings. Yeah.
What we potentially could see is one of the most insane coaching carousels that we've ever seen in college football. This is an uncharted territory of we're not hiring guys anymore to lead the whole program. This has turned into the NFL. You're hiring guys to coach your football team. Head coach doesn't have a whole lot of say in scheduling anymore. I think they do a little bit. They don't have a whole lot of say in like what logo we're going to wear on our helmet or what's it at the 50-yard line. That's no longer. Bear Bryant used to get to make those decisions. Joe Paterno used to make those decisions. Bobby Bowden at Florida State. Those days are gone. Those days are long gone. These guys are in there to be play callers, to make sure they've got a coaching staff that can get technique across, that can get terminology across. Now there's ADs as well as GMs we're seeing football.
Oh, yeah.
Andrew Luck's a GM at Stanford. We talked about this on this very show.
That's a new thing.
So you're starting to have those people because college football, although it's always been big business behind the scenes, now you have employees and players. Now you've got these coaches that are accountable. And year by year, you're going to have, with the portal, you see these transitions in rosters. Like, look at Kurt Signetti. I've never been high on him. Last year, I was like, listen, they've not played anybody.
It's a fluke.
Exactly.
Everyone thought it was a fluke.
But if you look at what he's done, he overhauled his roster again this season, and now he's a top 3 team, and it's justified.
He has more top 10 wins in 2 weeks than Franklin had in his career.
Listen to this, guys.
That's a huge point. And it did come out, Penn State's AD did say him not being able to win big games. Yeah. The tipping point was the fact that they're losing games they should win now.
Yeah. Well, listen, Oregon basically beat Penn State 3 times. They beat them on the field at Happy Valley. Then Penn State's with their tail between their legs goes out to UCLA and they lay an egg out there. Then they come home and then they get beat by North. Listen, and I said this yesterday. Losing to UCLA to me is not as bad as losing at home to Northwestern. That's even worse.
I agree.
So it's gone downhill 3 straight weeks.
So I kind of had that same take on Northwestern. Northwestern's a 4-2 football team in the Big Ten. They're not as bad as everybody's trying to cast them out to be either. I think Penn State was waiting on their excuse to fire him.
But Penn State was the home team is what I mean.
Yes. This goes back even further than this season or last. The guy was a play away from playing for a national title last year, James Franklin. This goes back even further to where he's done enough to keep that job. And they said, all right, the first opportunity we get to get rid of him, we're going to do it. Penn State's made this decision a long time ago.
Yeah.
They can't beat Ohio State. They just can't.
I have a theory about why all of these teams are choosing to pull the trigger now and fire coaches, and I genuinely think it's because of the 30-day portal window. If you wait too long, if you fire them now, your 30-day window opens, but where do you go? You can't enroll in school anywhere. You can't join a new football team. So that 30-day window becomes vacant. But you know who it's going to affect? We talked about this before the air. Like, what if Matt Rule is the next guy at Penn State? 30-day window opens up for Nebraska. Yeah. What if Eli Drinkwitz is the guy for Penn State? 30-day window opens for Missouri.
One thing that's interesting, you talk about Matt Rule, quarterback Raiola.
Yeah,
he's got another year of eligibility. Could go to Penn State with him.
You take him to Penn State with him.
And he's playing well this year.
Missouri's quarterback's not bad. So like you're looking at.
By the way, was that Penn State last year?
Yeah, and so
that's crazy.
Perbula,
it's crazy.
Well, and think about if Penn State really is serious, and like you talked about how Florida offers the bag. What if Penn State goes to Lane Kiffin and says, "Hey, come to the Big Ten. You're going to have to compete against Ohio State and Oregon."
And USC and Michigan.
Well, I'm going to say this too.
The power
USC is a powerhouse.
The powerhouses in the past couple. I think Michigan with Underwood will be.
And USC guys, y'all do not overlook this team.
I'm overlooking you.
You can overlook them. Historically, they're one of the top 10 programs in the college football history.
Historically, no doubt.
Yeah, but I haven't 5-1 this year. They haven't sniffed. They haven't really sniffed success since 2000.
We're going to find out a lot this Saturday.
Neither had Indiana until last year and this year. It can happen. It can change quickly, man.
But I'll say this: Signetti went in and immediately had the success. Lincoln Riley has not. He has not. And going back to last year, they had a roster and a half at USC, and they fell apart.
But did you see the quarterback they got this year?
Yeah.
He's good. They throw.
We're going to see how good he is this Saturday in South Bend. I can't wait.
They had Caleb Williams.
I know. Listen, I understand they've underachieved, but I'm telling you, don't overlook USC. Never look over. They're too good. There's too many athletes.
I think
in that
they could.
part of the
So
country.
I'm going to say they're playing my team. They're playing my Irish this Saturday in South Bend. I'm never going to overlook them because they very easily could come up there and win this game. We saw who was our Greg McElroy, ESPN analyst, has them in his rankings at number 10 right now.
He has USC.
He has them at number 10 because of the roster, because of the coach, for numerous different reasons. And his is very different from the AP or the coaches because he looks at this team was ranked here, so we need to do this. He starts fresh every single week and says
They brought a lot of players into the portal.
So
Plus, they're
exactly.
killing it on the recruiting trail too.
But I need to see if they come up to Notre Dame and win that game Saturday, then I'll be a believer. I want to see, and I'm a little bit more so with that win over Michigan. That's a big win. That's at your place. That's a big win.
And that game against Illinois, they lost that game. Illinois didn't beat USC. USC beat USC. If y'all watch that game, USC just imploded in that game, and they should have won the game. I just think USC is way better than people are giving credit for.
Yeah, I just think it's going to be.
I think you got to earn that credit.
I do. I agree. And when they do, like, I'll shake my head and say, like, hey, good job. But they're just not there yet for me.
I'm owning it right now with two teams, Alabama and Indiana. I'm owning it because I said, listen, Alabama, you guys.
Alan DeBoer is overrated.
Listen, I said it right here on this show. And now I'm starting to say, you know what? Florida State
They might be the best team in the country.
The Florida State loss is down there in Tallahassee. It's a tough place to play. Florida State came out with their hair on fire. Now we're starting to see a little bit of a collapse. A guy that was mentioned that could be a part of that coaching carousel.
Yeah, Norvell.
Mike Norvell, exactly. But this is one, since Jacob got us rolling, by the way, it's Tuesday, October 14th. Glad to have you here on the drive with us. But
oh, my gosh.
To get back to our coaching stuff here, if I'm looking at Penn State and looking at that job and saying who is an ideal fit for Penn State, there's a guy who's already left for a big job, to get a payday that fits geographically, that fits scheme, that fits personality for a Pennsylvania type mentality, and it's Brian Kelly at LSU.
You know who? He's too old. Okay, he's just.
I don't know.
You know who? Y'all get a laugh when I say this. You know who I would get? Penn State needs to have. They need to become flashy. They've always been, kind of a plodding team. 3 yards at a cloud of dust. Yeah, I know that they've had some success with Cliff Kingsbury. He's in the NFL right now. The guy has a very wide open offense. I think kids like to. I would think kids would be drawn to want to play for him. I'm just saying that's a guy. I think he's waiting for the right job to open. If I'm Penn State, I call Cliff Kingsbury and I say, "We'll pay you $11 million. We'll give you a 6-year contract." I think he could kill it on the recruiting trail, and a lot of kids would transfer to Penn State
could
to
play
play
this
for a guy like that.
They could play this really smart. They could make a move like that, or they could go after a head honcho career college guy like a Brian Kelly or a Signetti. They're going to spend more money going that route. If they go the route of a up and coming OC in the NFL that can put together a roster, and that might not be a bad idea.
I personally, this is what I think they're going to do. I think they're going to call Marcus Freeman. He's going to say no. I think they're going to call Lane Kiffin. I think he's going to say no. I think they're going to They're going to take all these big shots and make coaches say no.
Is Dabo Swinney one of those shots?
Ooh, see that's one. That's if Dabo gets really unhappy there, that's one that I could see them potentially doing. I think they end up with Matt Rule.
What about Mario Cristobal?
I think he's fine in Miami. I think he likes it there. He fits that style. I think they're going to justify it by he was a Penn State guy. He met his wife at Penn State.
Yeah.
He's an alumni. He loves the school. He's able to turn Nebraska around. He's a guy that can turn programs around. I think they'll settle for Matt Rule.
Here's one to think about. Do y'all know who Joey McGuire is? Head coach at Texas Tech. He's doing a killer job.
Doing a
there,
great
Texas
job with a
Tech.
lot of money.
With a lot of money. Penn State can match that money.
They can.
That's a guy that I would think would be a guy that you could think about. What about Manny Diaz? He's at Duke right now.
Duke, yeah.
But he was at Penn State. He was an assistant coach there for a while.
Had some trouble as a head coach when he was down at Miami.
But I think he's grown. He's doing a pretty good job
He
at
is.
Duke. And what about this one? Fran Brown at Syracuse.
That's another one I think they call. And I like coming from like a mentality standpoint, for someone that hasn't been able to win the big game, Fran Brown is able to come in and change a culture pretty quickly.
He is.
Two more names. Brent Key at Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
I think he's a hot guy. Alex Golish at South Florida.
South Florida. Yeah, I think those are definitely all a part of the conversation.
I think Brent Key will probably stay at Georgia Tech because he's a Georgia Tech guy. I do think Buster Faulkner, the OC for Georgia Tech, gets a job like Virginia Tech, or gets one like if one of these schools leaves for a bigger job. Like I think he comes like he's a really, really good OC. And I think one of these smaller schools are going to take a shot at him.
Hey, with that, we're going to take our first break of the day at 5:40. We're going to have Walker Valley head football coach Drew Akins on the show with us to talk a little Walker Valley football. They were on bye week last week, going into another region game this week with Lenoir City. Jacob and I will be on the road for that one. And also going to talk a little NFL Monday Night Football. Atlanta Falcons looked pretty good last night. That offense is clicking. All that when we come back here on The Drive.
The Drive will be back after a quick timeout. Stay tuned for more nonstop sports talk on The Drive, presented by Hardees.
The difference between an average morning and a Hardee's morning is hearty goodness that lasts till lunchtime. Like Hardee's smoked sausage biscuit. Split Hillshire Farm smoked sausage on a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit. And our Frisco breakfast sandwich with cherrywood smoked bacon or ham on toasted sourdough. Hardee's, goodness in the making. Download the app and join my rewards for special offers. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
When competition is fierce, sports injuries happen, and Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics is here to help. Saturday sports clinics are available at our Chattanooga and Cleveland offices from August 23rd through November 8th for the treatment of non-emergency orthopedic injuries like sprains, strains, and fractures. Doors open at 9 a.m., no appointment needed to be seen by our highly trained physicians and clinical staff. Saturday sports clinic dates are subject to change. Check sportmed.com for the latest information. That's sportmed.com.
Cleveland Tire Center for over 45 years with the best name in tires: Bridgestone, Firestone, Goodyear, and Michelin. Northley Highway, Cleveland. Cleveland Tire Center, where the name says it all.
The absolute best deals are located at Deal Days. Everything in the store, $7 on Saturday and Sunday, $5 on Monday, $3 on Tuesday, and just $1 on Wednesday. Located next to Planet Fitness on APD 40. Other locations are in Chatsworth, Calhoun, and Cartersville. That's Deal Day.
For the past quarter century, Mix 104.1 has been your home for UT Vols football. That's something to celebrate. Vol 25 is here. ESPN Cleveland 101.3 and USS are giving you a chance to win tickets to all of the Tennessee road games this season. Each Monday before a road game, you can register to win tickets to that Saturday's Vols game. Vol 25 is brought to you by USS. Visit USSTN.com/Chattanooga. For more information, check out our ESPN Cleveland 101.3 socials on Facebook and Instagram.
Need a new shop, garage, or other unique space? Explore post-frame building kits from Best Buy Metals. Best Buy Metals kits utilize steel trusses for the ultimate in strength and durability. When you need it to last, call Best Buy Metals. Stop by or visit bestbuymetalroof.com for your custom structure.
Welcome back to The Drive, presented by Hardees. Join the conversation. Text 423-749-1013. You can also listen anywhere on our website, ESPNCleveland1013.com.
Duracell in Cleveland is now hiring mechanical skilled technicians $22 to $27 per hour. Excellent benefits beginning day one. Medical, dental, vision insurance, paid vacation, holiday pay, 401k, tuition reimbursement, and more. Apply now at Duracell.com. That's Duracell.com. By the way, they're having a hiring
expo.
Over there this Saturday. So
yep. Good stuff going on over there.
It's a good place to work, guys. It's a good place.
And definitely all the benefits that Jim reads off each and every day here on the drive. Definitely hit up Duracell.com, see what they've got going on over there. Great neighbors, too, by the way.
Oh, yeah, they are.
Nice having them across the street. So, real quick, we mentioned Monday Night Football. Let's hit on this first before we go back to college football for a second. Monday Night Football, I want to talk about the Atlanta Falcons. We had another Monday night doubleheader.
Yep. Falcons
were that first game, that 7 o'clock game.
Do y'all like the doubleheaders?
I like it.
I'm okay with it. I was sitting there trying to watch football and baseball. My gosh.
I locked in because the Falcons were on, and I did not even pay attention to the second one because I was flipping between little Major League Baseball postseason, watching the Brewers and the Dodgers go at it. Great game we're going to talk about here in just a minute, too, by the way. But the Falcons were the game that I was locked into, and watching Michael Penix manage that offense, they are getting better and better week after week.
Yeah, I just don't think I'm a fan of the double Monday night games in the same way that I wouldn't be like the Sunday night game should be the Sunday night game in the NFL. Like we're talking about 32
I know.
teams.
It should be a standalone game.
We're not talking about college football where there's 136 different teams that are playing and multiple big games can be on at one time.
The reason I like it, if it were not the double Monday night game last night, then I'm probably just watching the baseball game. I'm just being honest. Like, I'm not a Commanders guy. I don't care. I'm not a Bears guy. I definitely don't like their quarterback. He can paint his fingernails all he wants. He's not going to get my attention.
He looked good last night.
He did. But that game would have not trumped my interest over Dodgers-Milwaukee last night.
Think about this. There were three quarterbacks that were all drafted in the same draft last night. You had, obviously, Penix, you had Williams, and you had Daniels. That's a strong draft class, man.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
And but like I said, I was torn between watching the postseason baseball. You had two NFL games going. It was crazy, but I'm like Jacob. I want a standalone Monday night game. I want a standalone Sunday night game.
And that's why you guys are wrong and I'm right. But, hey, the Falcons improved to 3-2, beating the Buffalo Bills. And, man, you could see the frustration. Talk about a guy who has done such a good job in Buffalo.
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen was so frustrated last night. It was written all over his face. He's slamming his helmet and stuff. Things you don't normally see from him. The Atlanta defense, I could go on and on about the offense, but the defense played great, had a takeaway against Josh Allen. That's a rare thing. And I feel like, and I'm telling you right now, Falcons fans are going to say, don't get too excited. It's going to go south. Because that's kind of what the Falcons have, that's what their trend has been. That's what they've done.
A Falcons fan is like a Reds fan.
Yes.
You expect the worst. And when they do something good, you go, oh, my gosh.
But I'm feeling really good. And I consider myself a fair weather Falcons fan because I follow them. I watch them pretty closely. I'm also a Browns fan. That's a you-know-what show going on out there in Cleveland right now. But, man, Michael Penix, 20 for 32, 250 yards and a touchdown. Bijan Robinson, 170 rush yards, 68 receiving yards and a touchdown. And Drake London looking like one of the best receivers in the game, 10 receptions, 158 yards and a touchdown. And, man, is Michael Penix and him on the same page.
Well, and here's the thing. Like, it's accompanied with a good defense.
That's exactly right.
They went out for the problem with the Falcons is they go out and they spend a first-round draft pick on a kid that has measurables from, a D3 school that, the paper says he should be good. Instead, they went out and got Jalen Walker,
proven players,
and Pierce, in the first round, who have created a pass rush, and now they're able to get to the quarterback and cause havoc.
Completely changed their defense. That alone, what you just said, and not to mention they got a steal in Xavier Watts at safety, who is an All-American safety at Notre Dame, who I watched for 3 years at Notre Dame be one of the best defensive players in college football. Got overlooked by a lot of NFL teams, and he's your starter as a rookie at safety. That says a lot.
Again, like New York, Cam Scatterby. Like, if you watched him play Texas,
CTE Scatterby.
Like, honestly, like the dude grew up hitting his head on a telephone pole to become tough. His mom came out in an interview and said it. But you watch him play. Like, you watch him play.
He's very athletic, too.
He's athletic. He's hard-nosed. and he slips to the 4th round.
That was unbelievable. That may be the steal of the last year's draft. The steal.
And so, like, to me, the Falcons finally did something right. They went out and they got guys that were dominant. Like, the Tennessee pass rusher was a dog. Like, that was a great draft pick. Jalen Walker, that was a great draft pick. Stealing Watson in the 4th round, that's a great draft pick. Historically, they haven't done that. Has the running back position been good for them? Yes, but, like, the Raiders took a lot of flack for taking a running back at 6'2". Like, sometimes the Falcons just historically haven't been great drafters. And they went out and they got some needs, and they've got athletes, they've got good skill players on offense, and now they've got a defense to back it up.
And I think they got a pretty decent coach up down there, I should say. So
Raheem Morris.
I think Atlanta is trending up.
Yeah.
I really do.
Being able to see Raheem Morris act the way he acted last night lets you know the state of that football program in Atlanta. Throughout the game, seeing how locked in he is, how animated he is after the game, smiling with it. Like, anytime you win, you're going to be in a good mood. But you can just tell they kind of had that reset game where they couldn't do anything offensively. From that point, they fire the receivers coach. Everyone kind of freaks out like, oh, that's going to fix things. From that point on, that Atlanta's locked in, and you can tell that they're clicking right now at the right time. You just hope that it continues. And some other big news from our area, Tennessee Titans. You know, everyone heard about the big firing of Brian Callahan yesterday. Offensive assistant Mike McCoy, who is a Chargers head coach from 2013 to 2016, was named interim head coach today. So big news out of Nashville.
And McCoy, we all know that, listen, this is a stopgap because unless he really makes things click in Nashville, they want to make a splash higher.
Well, the Titans said that they want to give him an opportunity to win that job.
That always worries me, okay? I can't tell you how many times I've seen a coach get fired, the interim coach gets him going, they hire him full-time, and it turns out he's a flop.
Antonio Pierce.
We've seen this multiple times in different sports. I've seen this happen. I'm like, guys, this guy is not really the guy, but they'll hire him because the players like him. The players go to bat for him. Sometimes don't listen to those players.
Lane Kiffin. Did I say that out loud?
Get a coach that's proven himself at the highest level and get him in there.
And for the record, I love Lane Kiffin as a college coach, not as a pro coach. I think he needs to stay in college.
Bill Belichick to the Titans. Here we go.
I don't know. We actually mentioned that yesterday.
We did actually mention that.
So going on over to Major League Baseball, then we're going to jump right back to college football because I think these two guys over here across from me have a little bit more to say with the college game. The postseason is going on right now. Mariners over the Blue Jays last night, 10-3. Seattle leads that series 2-0. And man, I tell you what, that team offensively is starting to click.
Yeah,
didn't need Cal Raleigh to do a lot. That's a team that I think could win this whole thing.
I'd love to see them win it all because they've never been to the World Series. But no, obviously that means they've never won it. But I'm a big fan of the Seattle Mariners right now. I mean, like I said, I was pulling for Toronto, but I like this Seattle team. They're easy,
fun to watch.
They're an easy team to like.
Fun to watch, and of course that ALCS. They're off today. Game 3 tomorrow in Seattle. So these guys have been doing work on the road in Toronto. They're going back home to Seattle where things might get wrapped up here pretty quick. Going over to the National League, the NLCS Game 1, the Dodgers beat the Brewers 2-1 in a pitching duel. Milwaukee went with an opener and used their pitching from top to bottom, starting bullpen, it doesn't matter, is so solid they can get away with that. Just did not work out for them with the Dodgers being able to edge them out by a run. Game 2 tonight at 8:08.
Blake Snell, by the way, explain to me, someone to give me a good reason why he didn't pitch into the 9th inning. These managers kill me. They're like, he looked so good. He actually had faced 24 batters in the 8th inning because the one guy that got on, he picked him off. He faced the minimum number of batters through 8 innings, and they take him out.
Yeah,
I just don't. It just blows my mind.
I'll never understand. Like I talked to Andy about this on the phone over the weekend. Like the Mariners decided to try to bunt, and then they pulled out of it. Like you don't ever see teams bunt in the regular season, but then you get to postseason to expect people to be able to
when they need to.
We're going to change it up our mindset.
And the same way with like pitchers, like if a dude's dealing, like we just leave him in.
This is another thing. You got bases loaded for Milwaukee, and a guy, I forget who it was that was at bat, nearly gets hit, does everything he can to get wear it, and you tie the game.
But it's instinctive. It's instinctive. You see a ball coming up, you're trying to get out of the way. You're not thinking about it. If it hits you, it's a tie game.
And you're right. It is instinctive, but I think there's certain game situations where in Little League, now, I know I'm older now. I'm not 25 anymore, but I grew up in an era where we were told, hey, if they're going to hit you, you freaking wear it.
Yeah. I think I think after that ball and he jumped out of the way, I think you could see the look on his face. He's thinking, I should let that ball hit me.
Yeah.
But it's already happened. It's water under the bridge. You can't undo that.
I know, but as a coach, I'm thinking to myself that player should be going through the scenarios.
He should.
Exactly.
You're right.
He should,
exactly.
in the same way that I expect my shortstop to know where to go with the ball if the ball comes to him, or if the ball goes to right field, what to do, where he should be. Like a batter should be thinking, all right, I get a fastball here, I'm trying to take the ball here. I get a slider here, I'm trying to take the ball here. If a ball runs me inside, I'm turning my shoulders and taking it. So to me, I think you've got to be able to be going through those scenarios and know that's like you get hit, the game's over.
I 100% agree. So real quick, we're going to let Jim Gum take you inside the SEC, sponsored by Southern Heritage Bank. I think Jim's got a quick one for us today.
Yeah, this is real quick. I looked this up. The SEC going to the 9-game schedule model starting next year. And I call this the 5-4-5 club, and I've got the 4-5-4 club. What this is, the 5-4-5 club means 5 games next year at home, 4 games at home the year after that, 5 and 4. Because it's 9 games, so you got 5 at home, 4 and away. The ones that are playing 5 games next year,
I guarantee you, Texas is
Arkansas, Georgia, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Missouri, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Tennessee. The teams that are playing 4 games at home next year: Alabama, Auburn, Florida, Kentucky, LSU, Texas, Texas A&M, Vanderbilt.
Interesting.
So you look at this, you're like, so like next year, the teams with the 5 home games have the advantage.
They do.
So that would be, Georgia has an advantage there, Tennessee, Oklahoma. But
Tennessee's
I really think stuff like this is not being talked about enough.
You talk about needing the stars to align sometimes with a certain roster and a certain schedule.
Yeah.
This game, and I'm sure the Big Ten is going to adopt something very similar.
They already do.
Okay, so where this is going is it's going to make the odds and the predictions of how many people pick Clemson or pick Penn State to win a national title this year. It's going to make it harder than it's ever been.
We all know winning on the road is so hard. And so when you've got 5 SEC road games instead of 4, that's an extra game. You've got a higher than a 50-50 chance of losing.
All I'm saying is if there's a Tennessee fan out there that wanted to sell all their season tickets for what they're going to go on, like aftermarket, they could buy themselves a boat. Like honestly,
yeah.
Like you could sell your tickets.
You talking John boat or you talking yacht?
I'm talking about a nice boat. I'm talking about like a Malibu
inboard instead of an outboard.
Yeah, like their home schedule is awesome. Like hosting LSU, hosting Texas. Like it's going to be so fun to watch.
Yeah, of course, kind of threw some shade yesterday. Tennessee squeaking by an Arkansas team. And I don't know how much of the show you caught yesterday, but I said, they not like us, as Kendrick Lamar said, because as a Notre Dame fan, we went to Arkansas and hung 56 on them and allowed 13. You had a take on that with Pittman, and now they're rejuvenated. Whatever, Mason. I'm pulling for Tennessee. I wanted them to win that game, but it irritated me that they only won by 3 points.
How are you going to sit here and talk about how UCLA is a new program after firing somebody and then not give Arkansas the same benefit of the doubt?
That's a little big league going on down there at UCLA. You ever seen that movie? I talked to Jim about it yesterday.
Yeah, I love that movie.
Petrino's, he's going to lock that job up, is he not?
Newheisel. Yeah.
No, I'm talking about Arkansas.
Oh, Bobby Petrino? No doubt.
Yeah,
no
I
doubt.
think Petrino's got that.
So real quick before we go to break, you guys pushed us here. Well, we got to get Drew Akins on to talk Walker Valley football. Contender or pretender? We're looking at the AP Top 25 right now. We're going to skim through these. Obviously, I think it goes without saying Ohio State, Miami, Indiana, the top three.
Can you believe that? We're just benefit of the doubt saying they're a contender? Isn't that crazy?
I think it's 100% warranted. Do we all agree on those three?
Well, I mean,
contender.
Yeah.
Okay. So number 4, Texas A&M.
I think they're a pretender. I don't believe their defense is good enough to win a championship. I think offensively they're great.
Pretender until you prove me wrong. I'm gonna pull the USC thing.
So you're both going pretender. I'm going contender just because off my experience as a Notre Dame fan, seeing that game, losing a close game to them. All right, number 5, Ole Miss. This is another one kind of in that same category, contender or pretender.
I think they're pretender. They beat Washington State by 3 points. Last year's Ole Miss team was better than this year's Ole Miss team.
I'm going to say contender just because I think college football has more parity this year than it did last year. I think Lane and them can screw around and make a run at it.
Yeah, I'm going contender as well. I'm high on Lane Kiffin, high on Ole Miss. And I think that, like Tennessee, I think going down to number 11 real quick, I think Tennessee's a contender, but you threw out the nuts and bolts word there. You screw around and you might cost yourself. Mm-hmm. Tennessee almost did that last week with Arkansas.
Well, I mean, they almost did it with Mississippi State, too.
Well, I give that on the road at Mississippi State. I think Mississippi State's a lot better team than a lot of people thought they were going to be. Yeah. All right, next one. Alabama.
That's a contender.
No doubt.
Ty Simpson can throw the football better than just about anybody in the country.
Contender. All right, Texas Tech at number 7.
I think they're a contender.
Yeah, I think they've spent so much money, it's ridiculous.
All right, I'm going to give you 2 here. Oregon and Georgia at 8 and 9.
Oh, both of them contenders.
I'm going to be a little hard on my dogs. They're going to have to show me more. Like, at the state of what they've played, yes, they're winning ball games, but if you're going to come out in the first half and screw around, you're not going to be a contender. If you can go in this week is going to tell me a lot.
Number 10, LSU, contender or pretender? I'm going pretender.
I'm going contender.
I've seen this Brian Kelly story before. Pretender.
Pretender. They can't run the football.
Number 11, Tennessee. I already said contender.
I hate to say it, but their defense is not good enough to win a national championship. They can score with anybody. They can't stop anymore.
I think they're going to get better defensively. I really do.
Talk to me in a week. Let me see them go.
Give us something. You skipped yesterday. You weren't even here. Give us something.
Pretender until next Saturday.
Okay, I like that.
If they go into Tuscaloosa and make some noise, then I'm on.
All right, I got 3 left for you. Georgia Tech. I'm saying ACC contender.
I say pretender. Well, I don't want to say that, but I feel like I have to say it.
I think they're going to win the ACC,
which means they're going to be in the playoff. So.
I still don't think.
I don't think. I think Miami's going to win the ACC. I think Georgia Tech's going to be right on their heels.
Right. Hayes King's the dog. I'm going to say contender.
All right. Notre Dame.
Contender.
They've got to be perfect though.
Yeah, they have to be. I agree. Contender. And last one, I'm throwing your guys away before we go to break. Vanderbilt at number 17.
Pretender.
Yeah. Too tough as a schedule.
Listen, I hope they win this weekend, but I just don't have faith in them.
And for the sake of everything, USC at number 20.
Pretender until
I think they're pretender this year, but they're going to be a contender coming up.
All right, you're listening to The Drive. We'll be right back with Walker Valley head coach Drew Akins.
The Drive will be back after a quick timeout. Stay tuned for more nonstop sports talk on The Drive, presented by Hardees.
Hardees is hiring. Join the Star Team. Flexible scheduling, daily pay, free meals, 20% family discount, plus paid vacation for part-time and full-time employees. Apply in-store or online at hardees.com today.
When competition is fierce, sports injuries happen, and Center for Sports Medicine and Orthopedics is here to help. Saturday sports clinics are available at our Chattanooga and Cleveland offices from August 23rd through November 8th for the treatment of non-emergency orthopedic injuries like sprains, strains, and fractures. Doors open at 9 a.m., no appointment needed to be seen by our highly trained physicians and clinical staff. Saturday sports clinic dates are subject to change. Check sportmed.com for the latest information. That's sportmed.com.
ESPN Cleveland 101.3 is powered by Duracell.
This is Alfonso Revizo, General Manager over at Crown in Cleveland, your local Jeep and Ram dealership.
Cleveland, the all-new Select Flooring and Remodeling is now open at 5555 North Lee Highway. We carry the top flooring brands you know and trust: Mohawk, Shaw, Engineer Floors, and United Weavers. We also specialize in home remodeling and roofing, delivering quality you can count on. Take advantage of 24 months interest-free credit. Come see us Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and Saturday, 9 to 2. Call us today at 423-889-3007. That's Select Flooring and Remodeling, 5555 North Lee Highway, Cleveland. From the floors to the roof, we've got you covered.
Cleveland Tire Center, locally owned and operated for over 45 years. Cleveland Tire, your one-stop auto care shop in Cleveland. North Lee Highway, where the name says it all.
When you need a new roof, it's all about trust. Your home is too big an investment and you can't afford to make a mistake. Cleveland Plywood has the products and expertise you're looking for. Contractors have trusted them for over 50 years, and they carry only proven products from reputable suppliers like IKO. IKO Cambridge is one of the heaviest weight asphalt shingles you can buy, and their limited warranties are among the industry's best. Protect the investment you've made in your home. Go with the pros at Cleveland Plywood, 2700 20th Street Northeast in Cleveland. Call 472-3357. Welcome back to The Drive, presented by Hardees. Join the conversation. Text 423-749-1013. You can also listen anywhere on our website, ESPNCleveland1013.com.
Welcome back to The Drive here on ESPN Cleveland. Andy Morris here along with Jim Gum and Jacob Mason. And now on the line with us, we put them off a little bit because we're getting fired up with our college football conversation, but Walker Valley head football coach Drew Akins. Coach Akins, good to have you on the show, man. Coach, you there?
I'll try calling back and get him on the line.
Nope, I'm right here. Hey, hold on.
There you go.
Yeah, I was on mute. I had people talking around me. And
oh, you're good. You're good.
Hey, glad to be here, guys. Thanks for having me.
Hey, last week he was at the beach,
good
man.
Time off. Yeah, it was way better last week. Now I'm in a nasty field house, back to smelling sweat again.
There you go. And listen, you talk about that sweat. You guys have been putting in the sweats coming out on top in that East Ham game before the bye week 2 weeks ago. And I imagine that there was a point in that game where you're looking up at that scoreboard and sweating a little bit.
Oh, man. It was there was definitely some times throughout. I think when they scored to make it 22-37 was the one moment that was like, hey, this may not go for us. We gotta do something on this drive. And if we didn't do something on that drive, it would have gotten real tough. But our guys made plays down the stretch. Really, really played well. And I think, kind of like we talked about on Friday, our depth just kind of took over. And the depth that we're able to play guys on one side of the football really showed up there in the fourth quarter.
Coach, I know you answered this question there at East Hamilton, but for those that may not have heard, your reasoning for not going for two after the first touchdown, waiting till the second touchdown to go for two. Explain to our listeners out there why you did what you did.
Yeah, the analytics behind all that is really interesting. In the league, they do things differently, and there's a little more time on the clock. But ultimately, we wanted to keep a one-possession game, and we felt like if we kick the field goal, it keeps a one-possession game. We can go for two the second time, and really felt good about our run game, going for the second time. So just felt like our kids' energy, if we kept it a one-score game, would give our defense a real opportunity to go get a stop and us to be able to drive down. They took a lot of time off the clock, too. So it would have been one of those things that we didn't get the two-point conversion. We're down 9. And now you just run out of possessions at some point. So keeping it a one-possession game at that time just felt like what we needed to do.
Yeah, well, Coach, I haven't got to congratulate you yet. I was watching in an airport, delayed, trying to go to Disney World.
He was waiting on you to show up today at the coaches show and congratulate him. You never showed up.
Yeah, hey, I've been good at that this past week. But, hey, you know what's
on you.
Dude, you should have heard him yesterday. It was rough. But
on you all the time.
What's funny is we talked about this scenario 2-3 weeks ago on the show about what you would do. I asked you you're down 15 with whatever, and you said I prefer knowing what I need to do and going for two later. Funny enough that came out 2 or 3 weeks later, and you win a game against East Hamilton doing it. So that's pretty neat.
Yeah, it's one of the things that we have a chart. I mean, we have a chart on our call sheet where it kind of tells us what to do, and we've set it up to what we want to do in those situations, and we try to hold to that. You know, we're not heavy analytics just because you don't have all the information you need to do it the way they do it at the college level. But I think you've seen, just watching us play over the last 6 or 7 years, that we're constantly thinking about fourth downs. What play are we calling on third down to put us in a good situation where we can go for it on fourth down? We try to play really aggressive on fourth down. We try to play an analytics game. So, we have that set up in our system, and we try to hold true to what we want to do with those things.
Coach Akins, you guys are sitting at 6-1. In the driver's seat of the region at the moment. Obviously, a big game coming up, a couple of big region games. Lenoir City, which you're favored in pretty heavily, and then Ray County to wrap up the season, which is that game's 3 weeks away. And you guys are ranked number 6 in the state. As a head coach, being in this position, and there's things that we've heard you talk about before, like wanting this group to be able to set milestones, and each group that you have every year, you want to accomplish certain milestones. How important is it, and how much are you talking to your guys about 1 week at a time and not looking too far down the road?
Yeah, we're a goal-setting program. We've kind of always believed in setting certain goals, but when we set those goals in January. We don't set those goals week to week. We set goals in January for what we want to accomplish throughout the season. And our number one goal every year that I've been here has been win the region. And because the region sets you up to make a playoff run. So the number one goal has not changed, and that's to go win a region championship. We've played ourselves into a position where we have a real opportunity to go win a region championship. With 2 games left, that's all you can ask for is to control your own destiny. And we control our own destiny at this point. So that's ultimately what we want to do. But we are talking to our guys a little longer view than that. About peaking at the right time. There's certain teams that they peak in the mid-season, and then you look up at the end of the season, and they're getting worse as you go through the season. Our guys have we've been talking like a tank. You have a tank that is your full potential, and you're filling that tank up every single week. And you can choose to fill it up, or you can choose to let some of that air out. So we're talking to our guys. I think we have 50 or 60% of our tank full. But each week we got to try to fill that thing up more as we get into the playoff time. Game 10 is where you want to start peaking. You want to start being the best version of yourself. So that's been our focus, trying to make sure that every single day that we get better at the things we're trying to accomplish, both offensively, defensively, and special teams. And I think those things are showing up on Friday nights.
Well, Coach, he's telling you to stay week to week. I'm going to ask the rat poison question. What's the tiebreaker if there is a 3-way tie at the end of this thing? Like, what's it come down to?
Yeah, at this point, I'm trying to think of a scenario you'd get a 3-way tie. I guess we could end up with
if you lost to Ray County, East Ham beat Ray County, you guys beat East Ham, Ray County beats you guys. Like that, what happens in that scenario?
And so Ray would have to beat, in that scenario, Ray would have to beat McMinn. However it happens, the first thing would be overall record. So if it went to overall record, they would look at total wins over your whole season. So in that scenario, if we won 2 of the next 3, we'd be sitting at 8-2. If Ray County were to win out, I think they're sitting at 9-1, so they would actually win the region in that scenario. And then it would go back to head-to-head. So the first tiebreaker, if it's a 3-way tie, is head-to-head. There's obviously no head-to-head winner there. So then it would go to overall record. If that separated it out, then it would go back to head-to-head. So we're going to try to stay out of that scenario. We're going to try to just, be in a situation where we're able to just win it outright. But ultimately, the region champion out of our region the last 2 years has been out of a three-way tie. So it's not uncommon for our region, but it would be something special to be able to win the region outright and be undefeated in the region. So that's what we're shooting for.
Well, Coach, right now you guys are the only undefeated region team there in Region 3 5A. So hopefully you can keep it going. Jacob, do you have something else for him?
No, I was going to say it's come down to Week 10. It feels like I feel like each year we're looking at Week 10, and one team's got to go out and handle business, and we're going to root you guys on and hope that you guys do that.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, like I said, we control our own destiny, and that's a good place to be in. The past couple of years, we haven't necessarily, even 23 when we won it, we didn't control our own destiny. We needed some help to make that happen, and luckily we got it. This year, we're going to try to keep it in our own hands, if at all possible. So.
Well, Coach Akins, man, we appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule to join the show. And, again, we apologize getting you on a little bit later today. Had a lot to talk about. And usually we like to have a little fun with you. So I'm going to throw one thing out here before we call it a day here on the drive. But Ole Miss, your team, Lane Kiffin, are they contenders or pretenders?
I'll tell you this: we better play better than we played last week if we want to be a contender. I think we spent the bye week honestly looking ahead. So hopefully we get that back on track. I think Georgia's going to be a tough game this Saturday. Anytime you go to Athens, it's a tough win. Tough ball game.
Can we get a little bit of a wager between you and Jacob, Georgia Ole Miss? Can we put something on the line here a little bit?
Listen, I've made a living out of making smart bets, and that's not a smart bet for me. Unless you want me to bet Georgia.
Jacob says he wants the loser to shave his head.
That's not happening. I've lived that life. I've lived that life where I'm a bald head, and it's not a good look for me, man. So I'm going to pass on that. But I will say it should be a fun atmosphere in Athens. I look forward to watching our guys play. But ultimately, I think 10-2 makes the playoffs. So
yeah, right.
If we're able to win the last four, even if we drop Georgia and Oklahoma, I feel really good about our playoff shot.
Once again, Walker Valley head football coach Drew Akins. Coach, appreciate you joining the show, man.
All right, thank you guys. Y'all have a good rest of your day.
All right, you too. So with that, we're at the 6 o'clock hour. It went a little over today, but we had fun. When you're having fun, you try to keep it going as long as you can. We got Slim Money Mason back in the building with us, so we had to capitalize. Had to have a good time.
Yeah,
we got to make up for yesterday, right?
I'm not going to stand for the slander. I'm just going to be honest. I'm here to stand on business. I'll be back tomorrow.
Hey, there's more from where that came from, baby. Have a great day, everybody.
It's time for a Don Ledford of Cleveland traffic update on ESPN Cleveland 101.3. Don Ledford Chevrolet Buick GMC, located on North Lee Highway in Cleveland, or visit donledford.com.